Here are the top 7 things that I'm doing actively every single week to serve my clients best during this time. Some of them may be obvious, but stick around till the end to find out which one I consider more important than all the other 6 combined. What's up guys, my name is Marc and I make videos like this one weekly. So if you find the content entertaining or if you've learned something, please consider subscribing below as well as turning on that little notification so you're alerted every time that I drop another video. Also, if you have any other topics that you'd like me to cover in future videos, leave that in the comments section below as well as a thumbs up, because seeing those always makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. Please, they totally help my self-esteem. Please just do it. So what's the first thing I'm doing? Number 1 is continuing my education. I'm jumping at every opportunity to learn from the wealth of knowledge that is available and making every single day count. There's so many great teachers that right now are offering, their most valuable or their complete catalog or library for free in lots of cases, or at a really, really steeply reduced price. And that's everywhere. I mean, you can't even keep up. There's not enough free time during COVID to cover all of this stuff. So it's kind of awesome because you get to pick and choose from sources that you may not normally learn from, either due to price or just due to the logistics of it or whatever. But I've found there's no shortage of awesome resources to use during this time, and I think the last 7 weekends in a row I've spent both days at least a few hours every day just going through some of this stuff, because it's only free for a limited amount of time and it's super relevant right now, and I've gotten a lot out of it. So that's the biggest thing that I've been doing during this time to improve and grow myself, as well as to serve my clients best, to stay informed, to see what's happening in the world outside of our little bubble here, because Prince George is quite a bit different of a market than a lot of these other places. So it also brought me a lot of gratitude, I guess. I'm super grateful, first of all, to be continuing to work, and then also to live where we live, where we've been so minorly impacted. So that's the first thing I'm doing. So thing number 2 that I'm doing, I've been using social media to market properties. I have dabbled with it in the past, but it was kind of just haphazard. I didn't really have a game plan or really an idea of how to do it properly. Since that time, and especially here in the last few months, I've really dug into some excellent courses put on by some of the world's best social media realtors, and seeing how they do it, seeing all the back end stuff, seeing the not only just the initial ad, but then how to create custom audiences, how to retarget them, how to see that if someone viewed your ad but didn't maybe fill out a form or whatever, how to re-engage those people. And during this time I've sold 75% of my listings. So one of them is currently active still, that one has yet to sell, but out of the 4 that I listed during COVID, 3 of them have sold already. One of them sold the first day, and the other 2 took a little bit longer, but we got those sold as well right in the midst of it all. And I attribute a lot of that to the work that I've been doing on social media. So that's something I've added to my toolkit and will 100% continue with, because it's just that powerful, and there's very little competition right now in that space here in Prince George. So it's an awesome time to have had the time to work on that, and I'm starting to see some really good results from it. And this is one of those things that takes a little bit longer to kind of see the full benefit of, but certainly it is something that is going to really, I think, serve myself and my clients really well moving forward. And it's also scalable, which is a nice thing, and it's not location based. So for instance, some of the older school ways of doing things, you would do mailers or run newspaper ads or whatever, and that's only in your market. I mean, this is something you can run an ad and you can run it anywhere in the world. You just change a few parameters, so you're able to market to other markets to try and generate buyers from that market coming here. So that's something I've added and something that's been paying off really well. And a big shout out to Mike Sherrard and Connor Holbrook for helping a lot with that. So it's been awesome. So point number 3 actually ties into the one I just touched on, and that is to run proper Facebook ads. So that's just not really done around here. There's the odd person running an ad or 2, but it's kind of very on the surface, I guess you will. And up until I started digging into it, I didn't know any different either. But now I've been shown by a lot of great coaches and mentors that there's so much more possibility out there and such a more high-tech way of doing things. And so that's something that I've really incorporated over the last few weeks, and it's only going to get better. because with this you do a lot of testing. So you test to see, you know, which ads work better, which ones draw better people in, you know, if the picture is different, like little touches, but they make a big difference in terms of getting a return on those ads. So that's something that's going to take a little bit of fine tuning to get right, but even now in its basic form, it's already generating a lot of good leads for us, and also it's getting exposure out there. And that's the biggest thing, is finding a way to market a property in a way that stands out. Moving forward, that's something that I'm going to focus heavily on, and you'll see in the coming months that it's going to get better and better, and it's really going to be a large bit of my toolkit that I can use to help my clients to achieve their dreams and goals faster. So tip number 4, staying well informed by studying the market daily. So, I mean, that's something that I do anyways. You know, you check the market monitor every day, you see what comes up, what's gone down, what's been sold, what's relisted, what's expired, all that sort of stuff. But now it's to a much greater degree, and really diving more into stats, into looking what has happened in the past, because a lot of people have this like panic mentality where they think that because of what's going on in the world, we're going to have this huge impact here in Prince George, and that's just not the case. I mean, we're isolated a little bit in our little bubble. There's a lot of things about our market that are different than other markets, and that's a good thing for us. I mean, we see it in the numbers. The house prices are strong, they're steady, they're going up. Inventory is a little bit low, but it's not any lower than previous years. It's a little bit lower than last year, but in 2017, we had the exact same quantity of listings right now than we do right now, but the house prices were quite a bit lower. I mean, I think we're $40,000 less than they are now in some cases. But yeah, so studying the local market as well as kind of the North American market, and not just reading headlines. So really diving into a lot of these Zoom calls that people are having. Now more than ever, there's collaboration happening between different organizations and what they're producing is invaluable. I mean, if you're not looking at that stuff, I don't know where you get your information from then, because certainly the headlines are not giving us the whole story, and you get that from the general sense of the public, or at least I do, because I talk to a lot of people, and almost everyone that isn't looking into things, they just go by what they hear, and what they hear is house prices are going to go down, it's going to be harder to sell, blah blah blah, all these things. That's not the case. That's the case in some places, but it's not the case in Prince George. So that's a definite positive for us, and an awesome sign moving forward. Number 5. So getting these information packages out, I felt was very important, because as a realtor, it's our duty to help the economy along. I mean, housing is a large part of it. And if we are panicking ourselves, or if we're not finding the proper information and relaying that to you guys, then what are we even doing? What's the point of us? You guys can find all this stuff online, or what do you need us for? Well, I certainly devote a lot more time than not a normal person, but than a consumer would, simply because that is my job. You know, I've spent the last 5, 6, 7 weekends at the office, both days, diving into this stuff, researching it, finding out what are other markets doing, how do they tie into our market, what's going on in our market. And we've created this nice little information package that we've sent out now, and hopefully it helps some people. As a matter of fact, today I got a call from one of those asking for some more information and asking to come give a house price to give a price on their house. And, you know, obviously part of that is marketing ourselves, but a large part of that is just getting the information to you guys, because it's shocking to hear the perceptions that some people have, or the misconceptions that people have. So yeah, hopefully that brings a lot of value to people, and that's something that's going to continue forward, because why not? Like that's what we're here for. We're trying to help you guys, educate you, and give you guys the most complete picture of what's happening, so you can make the most informed decision. All right, now we're getting into the good stuff. One thing that, well, this is number 6, but it's the last 2 I think are the 2 most important, and I think the ones that I've done the best at. So number 6 is just staying positive and just continuing to be a solver of problems. Mindset is huge in this. And, you know, I won't say that my mindset has been 100% this whole time. It was never about COVID, so it wasn't about, like, you know, being worried about getting sick or anything like that. It was more with my own personal fitness health. So that's, out of all the things where mindset kind of came into play, I would say that's the biggest one, and the one where I struggled the most with, because I had a really nice schedule. I had a really good morning routine, going to the gym, you know, doing everything that I needed to do, getting all my millionaire morning things in, and that was completely eradicated. I mean, trying to work out from home or trying to motivate yourself when you just go from your bedroom down to your basement, it's just not the same. And I know some people can do it, and I can do it. I don't know, I used excuses like thinking it was gonna this was all going to blow over quicker. So like, why even bother sitting up downstairs? I'll be back in the gym, before I know it. Obviously that's not been the case, but yeah, it's taken a little while. So fitness wise, mindset hasn't always been the best. It's really good now. I'm back on track, but mindset in terms of real estate and in terms of business, that has been strong throughout. I mean, you just look at the numbers, you look at the facts, and if you're doing that, then you don't have to be fearful. I feel like this is the most confident I've been in my career, simply because this is the most time I've dedicated to looking into that stuff. And all signs point to our market is continuing to be strong. We're really going to have a really sharp V-shaped recovery coming out of this as soon as all these things are lifted, all these bans and restrictions and stuff are lifted, and they're already starting to. I mean, it's only a matter of time, and the numbers are showing that. And these next coming months, they're going to be really busy, and they're going to be really good for people to see, to kind of, for anyone that is a little bit, bummed out about all this. I think seeing all the activity in the market and seeing, everything open back up again, I think that's going to be really big for everybody. So staying positive myself and spreading that to people, it's been huge, and it's gotten a really good response. So that's obviously something I'm going to continue. Oh, something else to touch about that is, we all have setbacks and we all have things that are going to drag us down. But one thing, and that ties into staying positive, is just to let those failures, if you will, let those be isolated incidents. So don't let that become like a running theme of your life. If you mess up on one thing or if something doesn't go right, don't let that perpetuate. Like, get out of that mindset and just focus on the stuff that is going well and build from there to get back into a positive state of mind. So it's important. And the last and final point is to be available and easy to access for assistance. So just being present, answering my phone when people call, or replying through emails or texts or whatever else. I wasn't kidding when I said, like, this is the busiest I've ever been, and part of it is deals, but the other part is educating people and answering questions and, easing those fears that people seem to have right now. And that has been my biggest contribution, because I've had comments from a few people that, hey, well, thank goodness someone is available. I don't know who they've been reaching out to or whatever, but clearly they tried to get information from somebody, and they just kind of went till they found someone that was working. In some cases that was me, in some cases other people in the office. But just being present, being available for your clients and for, even just whoever is asking for the information is huge. And it seems to be really well appreciated, and people seem to really respond positively to the fact that, hey, you're still working and you're still available as a resource for us. And that's awesome, because we have questions and we've been struggling to find the proper information. And I don't claim to have all the answers. That's definitely not the case. But I feel like I can speak with confidence in answering those questions, and I believe that the market around here is strong and is going to continue to stay strong. And relaying that to the general public, I find that that's important, and that's something that has meant a lot to me, to be able to do that for everybody. So yeah, that's my top 7 things that I've been doing during this time, and I look forward to continue doing that. So see you guys on the next one.